almost there.
We probably on. Good evening, everyone, or good morning,
Or good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Welcome to
Yes.
our live today.
Hello, hello. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome. How are
To
you doing,
I am doing
Janet?
well. I'm
Happy
doing well.
Mother's
Happy Mother's
Day
Day,
to
yes,
everyone.
and
Yes.
Grandma's Day.
And Grandma's Day. Yes, I could see your pictures. You are all into it now.
Yeah, we're having. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I lost a friend, but I'm happy that she's having such a good time being a grandma.
Having a lot of fun, yeah. Well, this is Maya Dari
And this
del
is
Sol,
Janet
and we
Altagracia.
welcome you to today our lives. We have to
Yes,
talk about always our juicy topic.
yes, exactly. And today is of course, this is a date with your soul. And our topic today is the pain behind our masks.
Oh,
Ouch.
yeah.
Just the name,
Because
right?
some of us wear that mask really well.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes. But behind the mask, if we
Somebody.
haven't recognized the mask, even though we wear that mask, we still have this pain. And we cannot get rid of the pain unless we take off the
The mask.
mask.
So some of you might be triggered today.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
so just it's
Which
what
is
it is.
good, which is good.
And put it in the comment if you are. Like when we say different things and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I do that.
Yes,
So yeah, I'm getting triggered because that's awakening.
definitely. So we invite you to participate and to observe yourself. Probably some of those or these concepts are applying to you because it's all our psychology
Mhm.
that we must understand in order to be able to change things. So welcome, welcome.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes,
welcome. So
yes. And to begin, let's say that what is the book?
buy the book. Our famous book. Buy
Our
the book.
famous book.
So
Yes,
it's the best date you can have with yourself and your soul right here.
this is the best state you can have with
The
your
best
soul,
date.
especially when you're feeling down,
Mm.
when you're feeling like you don't understand what's happening to you, when you say, I don't know what's happening to me, or you might feel like emptiness, gaps, voids. And this,
Nobody understands me.
yes, exactly. So all of those little things is like they have an answer,
Mhm.
and we are always in search of that answer. So this book can give you some, or I would say many of those answers. So if you feel or you resonate with just the title, Alchemy for the Soul,
I love that title.
it's like changing, transforming something that is very deep within you that you might not be able to even um, be able to see today. And that maybe you haven't been able to see it because it's in your own unconsciousness or it's in the collective unconsciousness of your family system. So it is always important to review both because we have so many things to find
Yes.
within ourselves that are limiting our possibilities. So
Mhm.
again, Alchemy for the Soul, we are following this information. I wrote this book, I would say,
2 years
oh
now,
my
right?
God, 2 years ago already.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a book that yes, you have to be brave and have a lot of courage for it. But
Mhm.
we are brave and we do have the courage.
Of course, otherwise
Yeah.
you wouldn't be here
Yeah.
listening to this
That's what I would say.
information.
The fact that you're sitting here and we're listening and that means you're ready. You're ready to look at those triggers, you're ready to open the book and read and learn and start continuing your date with your soul.
And doing the exercises.
Oh, that's the best
There
part.
are 22 systemic exercises that you can practice from this book. It's not just the reading, like just to read it and go through it. I have people that says, I had to stop
Mhm.
and take some time and breathe and think about it and go back to it, go back to the exercise. I didn't feel it, so I had to go back to the content and back to myself and see why do I want to block myself not to feel anything. Because if we don't open the that feeling that is there trapped, or that emotion that is trapped, then we won't be able to overcome it. And so the exercises will help you get there. Yes, definitely. So welcome, welcome.
And I'm going to take this opportunity to just plug in one more thing, which we'll plug at the end as well. And it's that we have this experience in many different versions.
That's true.
We have it in the book, English and Spanish, and
Yes.
then you have.
Yes, we have a program. It's
Yes.
a digital program that is in the Hatmark platform. And if you don't like reading, because I know many people say, oh, I open the page and I right away I fall asleep. And so we want to facilitate you this path of ancestral healing. So we created this program of Soul's Journey. It's in the platform of Hatmart, and you find it like that, Soul's Journey. And those are like 40 videos with content and also the systemic exercises. So
And her
there you go.
beautiful voice through the systemic exercises. Very soothing, very relaxing, just exactly what you need. And because one more plug.
Yes.
And you can get yourself on a waiting list for this. If you even want to go even deeper,
Yes.
then we have the academy, the
Yes,
institute.
we have the institute. We have a training program on family constellations. So if you really want to go deep, 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 as Janet did, deep, 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 as Janet did, it's kind of like the sound, the rhythm. Then we invite you to sign up for our waiting list on this program. This training program is made of 8 modules, and each module takes you in different directions of why or how is it that we are so connected and we identify with our ancestors' past, or our family system unresolved memories of the past.
It's a very powerful program. I mean, one of them is just like inner child work. I mean, it's just so profound, so deep. So it's definitely look at her website, look it out, check it out. And if you think anyone can benefit from a program like that, please, share the information, share Maya's website, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing.
Uh-huh.
I cannot stop.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Maya.
Yes.
So Maya's planning to do this retreat house in Mexico.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
that where
that's
we're gonna
right.
focus on that retreat, where we're gonna bring people to kind of unwind and just find themselves, find their soul, and do family constellation and do even deeper healing. This
Yes.
all's gonna be part of the institute, and you can come there. So this is something that we are gonna do for all of us.
Mhm.
Okay, and we are going to go ahead and do a page where you can go ahead and lovingly give donations to
Mhm.
get that project started. That's one of the many projects that we do. We also want to do a nonprofit to help people that are in jail, teenagers, just foster
homes,
kids. So there's
yeah.
so many projects.
We have a
And,
beautiful plan
yes,
with
yeah.
that, with the nonprofit, because we believe that at this time in life, we need to reprogram
Yes.
the programming of the past, that, let's say, that has been contaminated. And whoever is living in situations that are hard or difficult, they are attracting this because they might not have the possibility to find someone to help them untangle that. And so we are having this beautiful, amazing idea that we want to work, let's say, around the whole world, the whole planet, where we can actually get in touch with this type of people who really need this help.
Absolutely.
Yes, and once we get this rolling, we will be telling you more about it, because we're gonna be needing. Yes, thank you, Janet. We're gonna be needing a lot of helpers.
Yeah.
Even if you know about family constellations, we will need help, support, and in many different ways. So yes, thank you for planting that out there.
We're just starting the plug, okay? Just
Yes, just
all those
announcing
fighting things.
Yes, exactly. That's so beautiful. Thank you, Janet.
Okay, now we're ready for the book.
We are ready for the book.
Buy
Yes.
the book.
Buy the book. Buy the book. Yes, and if you wanna buy the book, you can find it in Amazon, by the way. Yes. All right. So are we ready?
You are ready.
We are ready. So
Take off the mask.
take off your mask.
Mask.
It's not a simple thing to do.
Not easy.
No, it's not easy to show how vulnerable you are. Sometimes we feel like that we need to be strong so no one will take advantage of us or hurt us
Mhm.
because we wear this mask to protect ourselves. And that's also love. Of course, it's an unconscious love because we don't want to be feeling that pain again or that suffering. That the best way of um, protecting ourselves is by wearing these masks.
Mhm.
So let's understand the origin of these masks because it is important to understand how come I created a mask or what is a mask or how that works, right? It's all in our psychology and everything is happening here and you don't know how in reality that happens because it happens, let's say, in automatic. Yes. So let's just give an example here. Let's say that you went through a traumatic experience when you were a child.
Mhm.
And it was so painful that sometimes, and this happens a lot in family constellations sessions, when I do a little interview with the person at the beginning, they say, I don't remember anything from my childhood, or I barely remember memories from my childhood. And when people don't remember a lot of their childhood, could be, it could be, not necessarily, but mostly, is that that was a hard um, childhood, and maybe is hiding lots of painful moments. So to protect ourselves, what we do or what our psychology do, because our psychology the one that does this, is that we block it. We block those memories so we don't have to remember them, and then we don't have to feel the pain again. Because remember that when we just think about them, about any memory that was painful, immediately we feel the same feelings or emotions as we did before. We relive the experiences just by imagining them or thinking about them. So we must understand that the pain actually is ingrained in our bodies, and we have it on an emotional level. Remember that we have all of these fields, right? Not only the physical, but the emotional and the mental and some other ones. But energetically, the body holds the information. So every time you feel triggered by something, your body immediately has a reaction of getting into the sympathetic, yes, the nervous system, into the
Mhm.
sympathetic system. So the sympathetic mode,
Sympathetic.
sympathetic mode. Yes, it's parasympathetic and sympathetic mode. Yes, you're right. Thank you. And so when you get into this mode, means that you get all stressed,
Mhm.
and it's because a trigger was like, boom, something happened, and I need to protect myself because I am going to feel that pain that I don't want to be feeling. And immediately you block the memory, or you create something that is called like a mental split. So when you were a child, to protect yourself, so what you would do pretty much is to split. And when you split, let's say it's like you create another you to confront the experience that is painful, and you go somewhere else. So if someone asks you, you don't remember that memory because you don't remember being there. Because another part of you is that you have different personalities. That's a multi-personality.
Mhm.
One of those multi-personality traits is
Yeah.
that of splitting in different sort of people.
Everything they have, multi-personality disorder. Everything has a title, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same concept, but we unconsciously must have done it and we just don't remember. Yes. it happens because like I've seen cases of people who remembers really shocking experiences by doing certain techniques like breathing, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yes.
Breath is a big one that brings a lot of trauma up.
Yes. So we want you to understand how this mask is created by us unconsciously. So if we feel like we are getting into this sort of this field that can bring you or experience that can bring you pain, first thing you do is that you forget or you put a mask on, meaning that if I'm vulnerable, someone is going to take advantage of me. So I have to become the strong one. And then you put the mask on. And then your body language will be that of being aggressive or talking,
Controlling.
controlling, or yes. So it is a way of protecting.
Mhm.
Every mask is just a way of protecting. And there are all different kinds of masks. You know, another one could be instead of becoming the strong one, you can just like look for a place to hide or not show up. It's like different ways that you protect yourself that is not part of your personality because people tend to believe that these masks are part of our personality and they are not. Yes, we do have a personality that is different because people would see us in certain ways. And we want people to see us in certain ways and identify us in certain ways, right? Like I identify as a woman, as with a name, which is Maya, with these sort of things that Maya likes, like nature and talking and teaching. So people will identify you with those things because that's your personality, the one you create. But this other part is the unconscious part of your personality that are those masks.
You could be like a really sweet person, and so that's
Yes.
that's your mask. You're always sweet, always giving, always wanting to do everything.
That's a
And then,
masochism.
yeah, and
Yes.
the day you say no, they're like, you know what I mean? Or the day you're not nice, or you get upset, they're like, because of the
Yes.
mask you've been hiding.
Yes,
But
exactly.
that
So
person always comes out no matter what.
so here the question is like, am I acting
Mm.
behind the mask or am I being true? Like truthful, like real? Am I being real or am I acting
Like
behind a mask?
the plug word now is, am I being authentic?
Authentic.
Am I being authentic?
Yes. Or you want to fit.
Or yeah, or I used to say
Am I doing this because I want to fit
settling
in?
because it's easier.
Yes, of course.
It's easier to just be content and settle.
Exactly. So that's pretty much what we will be talking about today and what the book is going to be telling us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, a lot of
Yes,
a
yes,
little.
yes.
I would say a lot of the
A
deeper.
lot about it.
We don't want to scare you away, so we'll say a little.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, Janet. So many of those memories that we don't remember happened, let's say, before 5. And before 5, our brain isn't totally developed. So some parts are not, let's say, working in that 100%. That, like, we're going to be talking here about the hippocampus, for example, is one of it that develops after 5. So what happens with the memories before that time? It'll be harder for us to remember because the hippocampus is connected to memories. And that's where most of our memories, or the ones that impact us and that created our programming, comes mostly from before 5. So just think about that. That's interesting, isn't it?
Well, I look at it every day with my little granddaughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she's being memories. So it's like the way I speak to her, everything that's happening to her. And now that I'm more aware, I'm very conscious, and I talk to her mom and I tell her different things, and so she's a baby, no
Mm-hmm.
control. You know,
Mm-hmm.
she's depending on us, and we are creating her,
Yes, creating her somehow her reality,
her reality. So
because
how?
she's recording. She's
Yeah,
recording everything, even the things you say.
and they look at you in the eyes, and you can see. So
And even your conversations, like when you talk to each other, we should be careful
yeah,
because these children are grabbing the information energetically. They might not understand words yet, but they understand that there is an energy there, that it could be harmonious or it could be creating like, oh, something is doesn't feel right.
and they feel everything,
They feel everything.
everything.
Yes. So this is what the book says. For the ones following, we are on page number 310. And this is what it says. The memories that we experienced before the age of 5 are stored in the hippocampus, and we barely can't remember them, nor what we felt with them. Just think about that. We barely can remember what we felt before that. We might remember some things. It's like, oh, I don't know, I just have this memory of when I was a child and this happened and that happened. But how did you feel about it?
Because that's what stays ingrained. How did you feel
Yes,
about it?
the feeling of it is what is our homework to find. Yes. So one of the functions of the hippocampus is to retrieve memories. On the one hand, it allows certain information to pass into long-term memory and categorizes it according to the experience as positive or negative, depending on whether it was pleasant or painful, physiologically or psychologically. Yes, so our brain, let's say, sorts the
Hmm.
information. And if the nervous system says, oh, it is pleasant, let's put it into the positive category. And if it's painful, then let's put it in the negative category, right? And that's how our brain works. And that's how we are sorting what we want to experience again or what we don't. And this it works physiologically and also psychologically. Because remember that any experience gives us the information that goes to a perspective that is connected to the emotions and to the body. Yes?
Hmm.
And thank you for the hearts. Instagram, we love them. So I love those hearts. So when something is painful, we tend to block it so as not to remember it. We also learn to avoid pain by not repeating what we believe are mistakes. Therefore, we create mechanisms to protect ourselves to prevent it from ever happening to us again. So, we're talking here about the mechanisms, defense mechanisms. Have you seen people that you tell them anything and they just take it so personal?
Oh yeah, very sensitive.
Very sensitive?
Very
Well,
sensitive.
probably there are lots of wounds
Hmm.
behind that reaction of that person because it's taking things personally.
And
And so,
it's good to look at that. I know I started because
yes,
I started looking at that. Like whenever I take something like too hard, I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's really going on here?
yes,
That's the question.
because it's not about what the other said, but how I'm feeling about it.
You just gave your power away.
It's not only that you give your power away, but the other person just is giving you the possibility to say, I'm taking this personal and it's affecting me hard, but the other person might not even notice it or doesn't
Exactly.
have the intention to hurt you.
That's the
It
big one.
was just something that was said, and then you took it personal. So this is your opportunity to say, it's not that person out there saying that. It's me that I'm feeling this, and this might be connected to a memory where I feel like I need to protect myself because someone is attacking me.
Very well put. Exactly. Very
Yes,
well put.
yes. So, homework.
Homework.
Next time someone tells you something that triggers you, don't look at the person as the mean person or the bad person. No, stop and say, "Ooh, this person just triggered me."
Say damn. What I say? Thank you.
Just thank you. Let me think about
Let
it.
me learn.
Why am I taking this personal? Why am I feeling attacked? And who did I feel like was attacking me when I was a child? Those are the questions.
And allow yourself to have little tantrum as you're going through each one of them.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Give yourself permission to, yeah, not in front of the person. Maybe you can just go and think about it and cry it or yell it, scream it, while you get to process it yourself, because it's not the other, it's always us. Always
That's
us.
the tough part. Like no matter what it is, you want to put the blame, but you it's never them. They're just the person that is showing you what you need to work in.
Yes.
And they do a good job. You know, you might not like it, but but that's the gift
Exactly.
they give to us.
Exactly, Jared. Yes, definitely. So let's see. Therefore, we create these mechanisms to protect ourselves, to prevent it from ever happening to us again. However, even if we don't consciously realize it, we continue to relieve the pain daily through our experiences. We carry it. If we are awakened enough, we can recognize when we are triggered by a childhood wound. When we don't understand this dynamic of our psyche, we react with anger, sadness, or tears, depending on how we felt back then when we were children. In Spanish, we say that remembering is to live it again. Yes. So these experiences are our best opportunity to review ourselves, to see where we are, to see what is in need for me to change, to transform, to take a look at, to heal. Yes, to integrate, to whatever it is in need, so I can change that reality. And so that is one part of the things that are important for us to do. Okay, let's see. Let's look at an example. When you, as an adult, listen to a song that made you happy as a child, you will immediately feel happy again. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember when I was a child, first song that I would listen in the morning was this song that was talking about the sun and the old
Okay.
sun, like it would say something like good morning, old sun, and something like that, and that was my waking up song.
That's
And it
pretty.
would make me happy. And and sometimes actually I wake up and I hear the song.
That's
It
something
says,
those
Buenos
memories.
dias, viejo sol, in Spanish, Buenos dias, viejo sol. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the song. And then I listen to the song in my head, even though I haven't heard the song since I was a child.
It was ingrained
It's
before
ingrained.
five.
It was ingrained, yes. So we need to, that's why I'm saying that even if you're a parent and you have a baby or a child, watch out with the type of things they are listening. Don't allow them to go to sleep, for example, listening to the news or listening to even cartoons, because all of it is having an impact in the way the programming for this child is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's so important. That's so important. Please don't do that, because there is something called, let me see the name of it. It's like another technique where it kind of shows you how impactful it is that when you are in that subconscious state, that you can get information that can actually create your reality.
I have to have that little conversation with my daughter.
Yes, because a lot of parents leave their children with the cartoons on
Yeah.
for the children to go to sleep. So that could affect them. Yes? Okay. So the example. Maybe If you like that song, we were talking about this childhood song that you make you so happy. Maybe you will sing along and smile as you remember it. Yes, I do. It's like, oh, that's the song, and I usually smile. It takes you back to a moment of happiness and placidity. You enjoy it, right? This memory is conscious, of course. Most of our pleasant memories are conscious because we like them. The
Mhm.
ones that are not conscious is the ones that we did not like. Yes. So this memory is conscious because you want to keep it among the memories that make you happy. But also when someone touches the warm button in you, it takes you back to the memory where you felt pain, and you are likely to respond in the same way as you did back then.
And you just have to take a deep breath on that, because the thing is that we do respond exactly the way we did back then.
Yes, it's not an adult the one responding, even though you are 80 years old.
Yeah.
Yes, the one that is responding in that way is going to be that inner child in you, the one that is holding all of this information. So let's see what else. If your parents scolded and punished you as a child, maybe you recreate the same scene as an adult. For example, if your boss scolds you for something you did wrong and lowers your salary, you might feel the same feelings that you felt when your parents punished you. It is very likely that this experience will make you react like the child again, with anger, sadness, or resentment. The wounded child in you awakens. Yes, so that's how it happens. We recreate the same scenarios as a child with other people. And those triggers that we used to have, like that we have today, actually have the root of those come from those memories that we had in our childhood.
I could give you a good example.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work at a law firm that I always felt like they didn't have a good sense of urgency. I'm like, things needed to be done, and it
Mm-hmm.
was so disorganized, so chaotic. I'm like, how can you work? And I would criticize the paralegal so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started doing this work,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden I walked into my house and I walked into my room, and it was chaotic, disorganized. I got so upset. I'm like, oh my God. And the day I realized and I went and I put myself in order, I was let go from the job because I did the change that needed to be done, and I was put in another opportunity for work that was organized, disciplined, not chaotic. But that's what I needed to see from that job.
Look at that.
And that was so tough because I'm like, you saying that happened to I was.
Yeah.
And therefore I created it. And I said to myself, the day that heals, I will not be working here. And exactly how it happened. It was a blessing.
How beautiful. Love it. Now look at this example that I'm going to give, also related to this. I have a friend who was before a client, and she once told me, like, we were just texting, chatting, and said, "How are you feeling?" And she says, "I don't know, I feel so down today." And I was like, "So why? Tell me, you want to tell me why you feel down?" And she says, "Yes, because at work, she was into the systems,
Mhm.
all computer things and things like that. I don't understand a
IT.
lot.
IT.
Yes, IT." And she said, well, and I did something, and my boss kind of like the way she told me made me feel like I did something like it was so bad. And then I felt like I feel like I'm not good enough. That's what she said. I feel like I'm not good enough, even though these two ladies have exactly the same degree and exactly the same, let's say, experience. And so I asked her right away, I said, so who at home would make you feel like you're not good enough because you didn't do things perfect. And so she said, "Oh, my mom, my mom." And so when she got triggered, first thing in this scenario was like, just think of projecting the same scenario of this mother and her child and the boss and her again. Same story, same experience, same trigger.
We recreated to heal.
Yes.
That's what she did. She recreated it to heal. Now she can see it and heal, or she can see it and let it pass by, and then it will continue
Yes.
until she does heal.
Usually, when you get to see it, you say, "Oh my God, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough because I'm not doing things as my mom wants." And she got to
Wow.
realize it, and then she got to liberate that
Oh,
day.
that's beautiful. And that's
Yes.
what family constellation does.
Yes, that's the magic.
That's the magic.
That's the magic. Yes. So everything that triggers us or causes pain as grown ups is a projection of our wounded soul and that of our wounded inner child. If, for example, a child feels abandoned because one of his parents left growing up when someone significantly leaves him, the wound of abandonment will most likely wake up. Yes, so if your wound is that of abandonment, if someone leaves you, then the wound will be you will be feeling the same thing you felt as a child when your father or your mother left you. It's just same experience, different scenario, different age, let's say. Yes. He might think that his suffering is because of the person that left him, but in reality it's because of his memories of abandonment that are recreated from his childhood, and he doesn't consciously recognize what is happening. Pay attention to this. It took me years to understand what was happening to me. Open your eyes to this so you can see that your reactions to pain, suffering, and the dramas that come with it are not the fault of others, but the perception of the inner child in you who needs attention, healing, and love.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little girl, little boy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let me see what time is it. Oh, we still have time to go a little bit further. Yes. So let's continue. So we can see here that when we get into that drama, um, let let's just think about the drama because many people, oh, because you're such a victim or drama queen or this or that, but we cannot judge where the other person is because these sort of wounds have a degree. And if someone pushes the button, maybe my degree is 10 and maybe another one is 1. But if mine is 10, it will be painful. And no one can understand where I'm at if, I go through that experience. So just for you to see this is a possibility to self-observe and say, oh, I got triggered. I'm getting into the drama because I feel that my wounds are awakened and I don't know how to work with that. That's a good beginning.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
exactly.
good beginning.
It's a nice humble, but it's a very good beginning because
Yes.
you open.
Exactly. So every time we relive what we felt during childhood and we are not aware of it or having healed it, we react from the wounded child. Sometimes we overreact and we ask ourselves, but why did I react in that way if it wasn't so bad? Has it happened to you?
Oh
Just say,
yeah.
oh my God, why did I react that way? It wasn't really that bad,
It's like
right?
you make a mountain out of a little molehill. It's like you explode.
Exactly. It turns out that we cannot think logically when we react from the unconscious wounded child because the memories of pain are stored so deeply in us and they come out automatically. The memories of pain are stored in the right side of our brain, which is the one that is connected to our emotions. Our left side is the mental one, the logical one, the one that can think before speaking. So it happens that when the wound is triggered in us, there is no saint that can help us. That's a saying that we use in Spanish. We feel wounded again. At this moment, there is no filter to think. The emotion takes over. From here, a couple of things can happen. Let's see.
Oh my God.
One, we overreact emotionally from the wound. That is when we realize what happened. We are already screaming, crying, or whatever, right? Fighting, hiding, or in the drama. Just when we allow that memory to take over because it acts in automatic, then you might overreact and you cannot stop it. It happens right away. You're
Mhm.
crying or screaming or hiding or doing the drama thing,
Mhm.
right? Or second, we get defensive.
That was a big one for me.
Yes. And we put on the protective mask. See, so we have those two choices when have these unconscious memories. As I mentioned earlier, another way we protect ourselves from suffering is to use the defense mechanisms. So we try to avoid or hide our feelings. We create a false story in our mind in order to justify how we feel. It's all a lie. We lie to ourselves. Therefore, we put on a mask that shows not emotions, that fakes what we feel, and that pretends that nothing is wrong by acting indifferently, strong, or thinking that everything is fine when it's not. Just think about it. Have you done that? I have. I used to do that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also an act of love to recognize it and to embrace that inner child because it's our way, or it was our way, to protect ourselves.
Like I find myself, no matter what's happening, and good or bad, like I said, but it's okay, it's fine, and it's not.
Yes, and it's not.
It's not. So now when I say, but it's okay, it's fine, I go and then I'll stop, and I even stop other people. I say, but it's not.
Yes.
It's important that we acknowledge that it's not. I had to say that. I still do that to this day because otherwise I'll say everything is fine and it's not fine.
No, no. That is a really good point because when we do that, we are trying to be the strong ones
Mm-hmm.
and pretending that nothing is important now. That's okay. And it's not because before or behind that saying, there is an inner child that feels maybe insecure or unloved or
Hurt.
hurt. Yes, something is behind that mask. That's your work
That's the word. Yeah.
to see what is that your inner child is feeling.
And it does take a lot of courage. One, because you're trying to understand it. Two, because you're in the middle of it. And three is a lot of people are afraid like to really say why it is not fine. So there it is. And the day that you can say why it's not fine because you're honoring and loving yourself, that's when oof, things begin to heal.
Yes, when you can say, well, it's not fine because I feel betrayed.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. And then you feel, and then if I feel betrayed, I feel anger. And then if I feel anger, I might ended up feeling resentment. And then if I feel resentment, then probably will feel hate, and eventually it will make me sick and I will get cancer. No, yes, we don't want that. So that's why we're talking about this, because one thing take to another and escalates in to places that are not going to be healthy for us.
And that's the rabbit hole that we hope that this, as we talk,
Hmm.
that we avoid,
Yes.
because we can say it out loud. It
Mm-hmm.
might make you uncomfortable, definitely make the other person uncomfortable, but it's the healing for both, or
Yes.
whatever circumstances is
Or it's
happening.
teaching you
Yeah,
to say, hey, no, I don't allow you to do that. That you're pushing too much,
yeah,
or
but yeah, setting those boundaries.
setting the boundaries, or something. Something must be done. But when you pretend that everything is fine when it's not, then you just put on the mask. Just know
Yeah,
that. Just know that.
it's automatic.
Yes, yes. So these protective masks are always in alert mode so that nothing will hurt us. So sometimes we cannot be really at peace because we maybe go to the office. Let's say that you go to the office and then you have all of these people, and then you feel like, oh, this one is the way, that one is the way, this one is going to attack me, that one is going to ask me for this one is going. So you are all the time with a shield, because you don't know who's going to be sending you the first rock. and, and so that's not life.
Mm-mm.
That's not life. There is no life in that.
No.
Mhm. You can recognize them when you hear your thoughts saying this. Oh, yes, don't do it. It will hurt. Don't take the risk. Don't trust. Don't say it. Hide. Stay quiet.
That was the big one for me. Stay quiet.
Hold on. Show yourself strong, or just look like you are responsible. So all of these are your own thoughts. We just put them out here in voices so you can hear yourself. Like maybe you wanna take a risk at doing something, and then you hear that in your mind that says, "Don't do it. It will hurt. You will lose," or something that can really um, avoid for you to take the next step. And those voices are the ones that sabotage also our possibilities. As you said, Janet, which one is yours? You said,
Be quiet.
be quiet, don't say anything. Mine too. I used to be like that. Oh, I'm not gonna, shh, don't say anything because people is gonna laugh at you or are gonna think you're crazy. Just don't do it. Don't say
That
it.
was the big hiding one for me.
And here we are
Yeah.
talking in front of the microphone today.
And this is for me. It's a huge. For you too. For
It's
both of us,
healing.
it's a huge step, and it's so funny because we both met at a Toastmaster. So at
Yeah,
least we were trying.
at least we were trying to express our truth. The funny part with Toastmasters is like, I was like, I don't know, because I felt like I was saying things that people wouldn't understand, and I'm sure many of you wouldn't understand what we're saying here either. But anyways, we are saying it because that's part of our healing.
Yeah.
Just saying things that we experience, and we want to share our experience, and even though it sounds strange, uh, it's a possibility. And so that's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. So our fear has a job, and it is very good at it.
Very.
Yes. Unconsciously, fear has a way of protecting our hearts from suffering. Yet, at the same time, it is our executioner. Yes, it kills our dreams.
Yeah.
Yes. What can be more painful for you? To hide yourself behind the mask, or to go into the wound and heal it? Hmm. That's a very good
That's a very
question.
good question. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a very good because it becomes a choice.
Yes, because we tend to hide behind the mask.
Mask
But if you think better, it's better to go into the wound itself, even though it's painful, and confront it.
and confront it because that's the
Yes.
liberation. It's the truth will set you free.
Yes, definitely. Yes, look at that. So when we don't want to confront fear, or when we decide to listen to the inner voice of the wounded child in us, we get stuck in suffering. We fall into the illusion that we are avoiding pain, but in reality, we are avoiding our possibilities to free ourselves from the mask.
And I would say definitely look at that because that's what we're doing in unconscious. We're avoiding to free ourselves from the mask. And we are here to free ourselves from the mask.
Exactly. So when we deny our soul truth, it eventually will show in the body as an illness or a disease. There you go.
There you go.
Hmm.
Those are the remission when the person with the illness that we realize and they do the forgiveness work. They don't take shit from anybody.
Yes. Yeah, there's something called the primal scream, for
Yeah,
example, where
that's
you
fun. I
can,
did that.
yes, you can have a catharsis and allow yourself to express what you felt when you felt abused, when you felt betrayed, when you felt abandoned. And that is right. That is
Very
that is
healing.
very healing. Yes, we were actually we were taught not to express in that way, um, because that is inappropriate, for example, or even going to therapists, but that's anger, or you shouldn't be showing it that way, or you shouldn't.
Yeah, the
but
big shouldn't.
but the thing is that the soul doesn't have any logic in it. The soul is irrational and only feels.
And it's love, so it's gonna love you
Hmm.
until you do what you need to do because it's love.
Yes, exactly. So, um, your soul needs to express.
Yep.
And if we repress that feeling or that emotion, or we hide it, we it keep being repressed, then eventually it will become or a disease, or it eventually can take into another direction, which could be a shadow. And that can actually be worse than anything else, because when the shadow takes over, it can even commit a crime.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So that was our sharing
Whew.
tonight.
I know it was a really deep one. Yeah,
Yes.
so just please share your feelings in the comment.
Mm-hmm.
Share if you got triggered. If
Mm-hmm.
there's any part of it that you really enjoy, you want to hear more, tell us in the comment so
Yes,
we can go
please.
ahead and talk more about that because this is really deep work. Like, especially the primal screen. I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what that was,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until Maya explained it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, how you can use that to really heal a lot in the soul and the heart. So, any topic that you like, please put it in the chat.
Yes, and we will be very happy to
Take it deeper.
develop it here. Yes, exactly. Thank
Take it
you
deeper.
for coming. Thank you for being so present.
Absolutely. Hit the like and please share so the
Please.
AI does what it needs to do.
Yes, thank you for that. I love those. Look, the fire ones. So love them. Yes.
We are on
We
fire.
are on fire. Well, my
Yeah.
voice is not on fire today, but I'm here
Yeah.
because we
She's a
have a
little
date.
tired. She did one of the
The-
institute this weekend.
Yeah, I did the module this
Yeah.
weekend,
So
so somehow I felt like,
yeah.
and then maybe because we are also in the moon, and after the eclipse, it's all of it. So
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm living my own process as well. See, it's a non-stopping process, the process of evolution for
Yeah.
each of us. So, but the more we do, the more we can get to change our reality and
And then give
help.
back.
Yes, exactly.
Back.
Hi, Helen. We can see you. Thank you for the hi. All right. Well, I guess
Have a great evening.
everybody have a great evening. And next week, I'm not sure about the live. It depends on because I will be in Colombia. I need to go get some dental work done, and so we will see if we can make it happen online. It depends on the internet because we are always we have a date here with you, and we are always planning to be here with you. So, but thank you so much for watching
Your
and
support.
your support and your fires and your hearts and all of it.
Yeah, so please subscribe and like, and of course, buy the book.
Yes, where is the book? Janet is so good at this. Buy the book, buy the book. You can find it in Amazon in English and also in Spanish.
And
So,
in audio.
and in Oreo is coming soon because our Oreo editor is an actor and he's been busy lately. But it's happening.
coming.
It's coming. Yeah, yeah.
We want to make
Definitely.
sure we cover all the bases.
Yes, exactly. Or Soul's Journey in Hatmar for now.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. That's audio
yes. That's audio and video.
and video.
Yes,
That's worlds.
that's better. All right. We send you love and infinite blessings, and we hope to see you en corazoncitos, yes. And we hope to see you next week.
Or the following one. We will
Or
let
the
you
following, yes.
know.
We will be.
We will let you know.
We will let you know. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.